Polarizability, Lorentz local field, Clausius-Massotti relation, Debye correction for the Clausius-Massotti relation, and Langevin function are some of the topics covered in this presentation. Summarizing, one may conclude that the electric properties of a molecule may be characterized by the following three quantities. Alpha E representing polarizabilities due to electronic displacements within the composing atoms or ions. Alpha A representing the polarizability due to atomic or ionic displacements within the molecule, that is change in bond angles and intra-atomic distances. And C, a permanent dipole moment. Next we come to the discussion of the Lorentz local field. In gases, we can assume that the field acting on the particle is equal to the externally applied field. In solids and liquids, a given molecule or atom sees not only the external field but the field produced by dipoles on other particles as well. As a result of long range of Coulomb forces, the latter contribution can no longer be neglected. Hence, to understand the theory of dielectrics, this internal or local field must be calculated. This field is different from the externally applied field E. To calculate the internal field, the following method was suggested by Lorentz. A polarized dielectric can be considered as being composed of small regions, each having a certain dipole moment. The total dipole moment of the body is the vector sum of the moments of such regions. Due to the long range of dipolar forces, we can make a very good approximation. Consider that dipoles beyond a certain distance can be replaced by a continuous medium having the macroscopic dielectric properties of the specimen. Thus, the dipole, whose interaction with the rest of the specimen we are calculating, may be considered as being surrounded by a sphere of radius r. This sphere of radius r contains a discrete number of particles beyond which there is a continuous medium. Now, we select a small spherical region from the dielectric with an atom at the center. We will calculate the local field for this atom. The radius of this sphere is chosen large enough to consider the region outside the sphere as a continuum of dielectric constant epsilon s. For region inside the sphere, the contributions to the internal field are 1. From the charge density on the plates indicated by sigma free, from the induced charges at the plate dielectric interface indicated by sigma pole, and number 3, charges introduced or induced at the spherical surface. Number 4, there is a contribution due to the atomic dipoles of all atoms inside the spherical region. We now come to the evaluation of the third contribution. As a consequence of symmetry, only field components parallel to E have to be taken into account. Consider a ring of area twice pi r sine theta r d theta. The surface charge density is minus p dot n, which is minus p cos theta. Therefore, charge on the ring is minus p cos theta twice pi r square sine theta d theta, leading to a Coulomb field in the direction of E at the center given by d3 equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught charge upon r square, which is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught within brackets minus p cos theta twice pi r square sine theta d theta within brackets minus cos theta upon r square. Therefore, E3 will be equal to twice pi p upon 4 pi epsilon naught integral going from 0 to pi cos square theta sine theta d theta. If we take cos theta to be equal to x, then minus sine theta d theta is equal to dx. And at the limits theta equal to 0, cos theta is 1, indicating the limit as x0. And at theta equal to pi, cos theta is equal to minus 1, and we indicate this limit as x pi. E3 is equal to minus p upon 2 epsilon naught integral going from x naught to x pi x square dx, which is equal to minus p upon 2 epsilon naught integral plus 1 to minus 1 x square dx, which is equal to p upon 2 epsilon naught x cubed by 3 minus 1 to plus 1, which is equal to p by 3 epsilon naught. The internal field EI is equal to E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus E4. E1 is equal to sigma free upon epsilon naught. E2 is equal to minus sigma pole upon epsilon naught. E1 plus E2 is equal to sigma free minus sigma pole upon epsilon naught. But sigma pole is also equal to P, therefore E1 plus E2 is equal to sigma free minus P upon epsilon naught, which is equal to E. Therefore, EI is equal to E plus P upon 3 epsilon naught. Mu induced is equal to alpha epsilon naught EI. P is equal to N alpha epsilon naught EI. D is equal to epsilon naught E plus P, which implies that P is equal to D minus epsilon naught E. Therefore, P is equal to N alpha epsilon naught E plus P upon 3 epsilon naught. Next we come to the derivation of the Clausius-Massorti relation. Now continuing from the previous slide, d minus epsilon naught E then is equal to n alpha epsilon naught within brackets E plus d minus epsilon naught E upon 3 epsilon naught. Solving this, we are going to get d minus epsilon naught E upon d plus 2 epsilon naught E equal to n alpha upon 3. Opening up the expression for d, that is epsilon E minus epsilon naught E upon epsilon E plus 2 epsilon naught E is equal to n alpha by 3. Since epsilon is equal to epsilon naught kappa, we get the relationship kappa minus 1 upon kappa plus 2 equal to n alpha by 3, and this is the Clausius-Massorti relation. The refractive index of a material is indicated by eta. Kappa is equal to eta square. The molecular weight is indicated by m. mv is the volume. N into volume is equal to Na, the Avogadro's number. Kappa minus 1 upon kappa plus 2 is equal to n alpha by 3. The specific volume is the reciprocal of density. Therefore, eta square minus 1 upon eta square plus 2 mv is equal to n mv alpha by 3, which is equal to Na alpha by 3. mv is the molecular volume Vm. Therefore, eta square minus 1 upon eta square plus 2 Vm is equal to Na alpha by 3. Pm is the molecular polarization. So, Pm, that is Na alpha by 3. So, Pm is equal to Na alpha by 3, and this is the Lorentz equation of light. Certain molecules possess an inherent dipole moment, and orientation of these dipoles in the direction of the applied field gives rise to another state of polarization of the molecule. Also, this polarizability has a temperature dependence. Therefore, we now come to the Debye correction to the Clausius-Massorti relation. So let's consider the polarizability of a molecule in a static field resulting from a permanent dipole moment. Consider a gas containing a large number of identical molecules, each with a permanent dipole moment mu. Without an external field, the dipoles will be oriented at random and the gas as a whole will have no resulting dipole moment. An external field will exert a torque on each dipole and will tend to orient dipoles in the direction of the field. On the other hand, this ordering influence of the external field will be counteracted by the thermal motion of the particles. We therefore want to find out what is the average component of the dipole moment per molecule in the direction of the applied field at a temperature T. We assume that the dipoles may rotate freely. We define the potential of a dipole making an angle of 90 degrees with external field as 0. The potential energy corresponding to an angle theta between mu and E is then given by minus mu E cos theta equal to minus mu dot E. According to Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, the number of molecules possessing an energy U is given by n proportional to e to the minus u by kt. The number of molecules lying in the direction of the solid angle d omega, that is lying between an angle theta and theta plus d theta, are n prime equal to na e to the minus mu upon kt d omega, where u is equal to minus mu e cos theta. N prime is equal to na e to the mu e cos theta by kt. The moment produced by the molecules contained in the cone d omega is equal to number of molecules into dipole moment of one molecule, which is equal to Na e to the mu e cos theta upon kt into mu e cos theta. N is the number of molecules per unit volume. The total dipole moment is then given by integral 0 to pi Na e to the mu e cos theta upon kt d omega into mu cos theta. Therefore, average or mean moment is equal to total moment upon total number of molecules, which is equal to integral going from 0 to pi Na e to the mu e cos theta upon kt d omega mu cos theta upon integral 0 to pi Na e to the mu e cos theta upon kt d omega. D omega is the area of the ring between theta and theta plus d theta divided by r square. So twice pi r sine theta r d theta upon r square is simply equal to twice pi sine theta d theta. Mu bar is equal to mu integral 0 to pi cos theta e to the mu e cos theta upon kt twice pi sine theta d theta upon integral 0 to pi e to the mu e cos theta upon kt twice pi sine theta d theta. Let us put mu e upon kt equal to a. So cos theta is equal to x at theta equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to plus 1 at this limit. Minus sine theta d theta is equal to dx. Theta is equal to pi and x is equal to minus 1 at this limit. Therefore, mu bar comes out to be equal to mu integral plus 1 to minus 1 minus x e to the power ax dx divided by integral 0 to pi minus e to the power ax dx. We integrate numerator and the denominator by parts. So mu bar is equal to mu within brackets in the numerator x e to the power ax upon a. The limits are minus 1 to plus 1 minus integral minus 1 to plus 1 e to the power ax upon a dx divided by e to the power ax upon a within the limits minus 1 to plus 1. So mu bar is equal to mu open brackets 1 dot e to the power a minus 1 e to the power minus a upon a minus 1 upon a e to the power ax upon a. The limits are from minus 1 to plus 1. In the denominator, opening up the brackets, we will have e to the power a minus e to the power minus a upon a. Therefore, we can write mu bar as mu open brackets e to the power a plus e to the power minus a upon a minus e to the power a minus e to the power minus a upon a into 1 by a divided by e to the power a minus e to the power minus a upon a, which gives us mu bar equal to mu e to the power a plus e to the power minus a upon e to the power a minus e to the power minus a minus 1 upon a. This gives us mu bar equal to mu cot hyperbolic a minus 1 upon a. Mu bar is written as mu LA. LA is known as the Langevin function. For a very much less than 1, LA is equal to a by 3. So mu bar becomes equal to mu a by 3, which is equal to mu e upon kt. So mu average is equal to alpha orientational epsilon naught e. Mu average upon epsilon naught e is equal to alpha naught, which is equal to mu square upon 3 kt epsilon naught. Thus, contribution to the polarizability due to orientation of permanent dipoles is given by alpha naught is equal to mu square upon 3 kt epsilon naught. Continuing with the Langevin function, alpha total is alpha e plus alpha naught, which is equal to alpha plus mu square upon 3 kt epsilon naught. Applying this to the Clausius-Massotti relation, m upon d kappa minus 1 upon kappa plus 2 is equal to Na alpha total upon 3, which is equal to Na by 3 alpha plus mu square upon 3 kt epsilon naught. M upon d kappa minus 1 upon kappa plus 2 is equal to Na alpha by 3 plus Na upon 9 mu square upon kt epsilon naught. This equation is of the type y is equal to mx plus c. So m upon d kappa minus 1 upon kappa plus 2, which is the molecular polarization, if it is plotted against temperature, we shall get a straight line in the above equation. This figure shows a plot of the Langevin function against a, which is equal to mu e upon kt, and you can see that at the line which is 1 at corresponding to Langevin function 1, this function is asymptotically tending towards it. If we draw a line tangential to the Langevin function, we get it at 1 upon 3a. That is the value which we obtain for values of a very much less than 1. This figure shows a plot of the molecular polarization versus reciprocal of temperature for both polar and non-polar molecules. Let us now discuss the plots shown in the previous two slides. If the substance is non-polar, then mu is equal to 0, m is equal to 0. The line is parallel to the x-axis. For very large values of A, that is very high field strengths, the Langevin function approaches the saturation value unity. This situation corresponds to a complete alignment of all dipoles in the field direction, because then mu cos theta is simply equal to mu. At normal pressures, the Clausius-Massotti equation predicts a temperature independent molar polarization. It was not so for a large number of compounds. Debye modified the Clausius-Massotti equation to account for the presence of a permanent charge separator. The Debye modification was that a dipole moment mu within some molecules and deduce that the total molar polarization is given by P is equal to Pe plus Pa plus Po, thus giving the Clausius-Massotti relation as m upon d kappa minus 1 upon kappa plus 2 equal to Na by 3 within brackets alpha e plus mu square upon 3 kt epsilon naught. So PO is equal to Na upon 3 mu square upon 3 kT epsilon naught, the orientational polarization. This is the contribution of the polarization arising from a partial alignment of the permanent dipoles by the applied field.